The quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. To panic, but then I see to solve for x is negative quadratic formula. Gonna solve for x with quadratic formula. Gonna solve for x all over 2a.
Good job, Emily. What about the x equals?
X equals negative b.
Uh-huh.
X equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
All right, so there you have it. Even little kiddos can memorize the quadratic formula. So you are going to need to memorize the quadratic formula, and you can use the YouTube videos that I found or rewatch the beginning. But definitely want to either create a song, your own version of it, or just the Pop Goes the Weasel is the one that I learned, and it's the easiest in my mind, but whatever works for you. But you do need to have that memorized. So x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So get that quadratic formula written down. We're going to be using that. But first, what we're going to talk about is the discriminant, which is what's underneath the radical here. So that's going to tell us how many solutions we actually are going to have and what type they are. So if that under the radical is a positive number, then we would have greater than 0, 2 real solutions. If it equals 0, what's under the radical, then we have 1 real solution. If for some reason what's under the radical is negative, remember we can't do that square root of a negative, so that means it is not real, and we'd have 2 non-real complex solutions. So let's go ahead and just practice using the discriminant. So again, it is under that radical, what's under the radical is b squared, not negative b, starting out the formula, is b squared minus 4ac. B squared minus 4ac. So first step, label A, which is 1, B and C. So what we would have here is negative 14 squared minus 4 times 1 times 50. So if we calculated that out and took 14 and squared it, which is 196, and then we took the 4 times the 50, got 200, so 196 minus 200, then we would wind up with a negative, right? So if we have negative 4, and this is negative, that means that we are going to have a negative under the radical and have 2 non-real solutions. All right, so try that next one on your own. Again, use b squared minus 4ac. Just the discriminant is what we're looking for. So plug that in and then look above and tell me how many solutions we have and what type they are. Right, hopefully you're ready to check. So we would have 14 squared minus 4 times 48, which is going to give us 196 minus 192, which gives us positive 4. So 196 minus 192. And since this is greater than 0, that means we have 2 real solutions. And then the one that we didn't get was if it equaled 0, and that's 1 real solution. So let's go ahead and actually use our quadratic formula here, kind of walking you step by step. We want to first label A, B, and C. Remember, A is 1. It is not the x squared. B is 7. C would be 10. It has to equal 0 before we can identify those, though. So remember, it's x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And now we want to simplify. So we have negative 7 out front. We have 7 squared, so we want to do order of operations, so that's 49. And then we want to do the multiplication here, which is 10. And then we can multiply in the bottom, which is 2. So next step, multiply here, and then we can go ahead and subtract. But we have to multiply before we do that subtraction piece. So 49 minus 40 is 9. Keeping everything else as we go along, taking it step by step. The square root of 9 is 3. And now what we're going to do is we're going to split it up. Because we have the plus minus, remember we have two answers. We have one that's plus and one that's minus. So negative 7 plus 3 over 2 and negative 7 minus 3 over 2. So now we can simplify. Negative 7 and 3 is negative 4 over 2. And then over here, negative 7 minus 3 is negative 10 over 2, which then reduces to negative 2 and negative 5. All right, so let's go ahead and have you try one on your own. So first label A, B, C, follow it all the way through, and then we'll check and see how you did. All right, so let's check. A should be 3, B should be negative 4, and C should be negative 1. So x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So if you want to put a b, an a c, an a, if you need to put those in the spots or write out that formula first, you can do that in any case. So simplifying, negative 4 squared is 16. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. And then we take 4 times negative 3 to get negative 12. And then we take 16 minus negative 12, which is a double negative, so it's addition to get 28. Simplifying 28, we can break it down as 4 times 7. So square root 4, square root 7, which ultimately gives you 2 radical 7. And then we want to separate. And then let's look to see if we can simplify. So these three numbers, if there's a factor that you could divide each of them by, then you can go ahead and simplify, which we can in this case. Divide every single one by 2, and then we get our final answer. 2 plus radical 7 over 3 and 2 minus radical 7 over 3. All right. Is that our last one already? Oh, wow. All right. That looks like to be our last one. So in our next lesson, it will be continuing the quadratic formula, only we're going to see under our radical maybe some imaginary solutions.